Thanks everyone for joining this today's session. So my name is Freist Li. I'm from the App Control team. Today I'd like to introduce how to use the bot framework composer version 2 to create the bot as a pro dev for Teams channel. And here is my agenda for today's session. The first one, I will introduce the current Microsoft bot framework status, and then we'll explain how to use the different integration and build options to create the Teams bot. The third part is I will introduce the key concept of the bot framework composer and explain how to use those different blocks to create the bots for Teams. Then I will share give you the demo to explain how to build, enhance, and publish bot application to Teams channel using the composer. The last part is the Q&A. So if you have questions, you can type it in the chat window, and then I will try to go through them in the Q&A session. The Q&A part may be 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, let's start. First, I'd like to brief Microsoft bot framework. Here is the current Microsoft bot framework structure. Actually, the bot framework is a comprehensive framework for building enterprise-grade conversational AI experience. In this chat, we can see the left part. We can use the different channels to reach our customers or employees through the different approach types. For example, we can use the Teams channel, WhatsApp, and Facebook message or Alex skills, send the message to Azure bot service. Behind that, we have the bot web services to support the different query of messages. We can use the bot framework easily integrate with Azure cognitive service. For example, we can use the language understanding intelligence service. We call this LUIS, or use a Q&A maker, or even we can use computer vision to support the different message handling. So if some request or message cannot be handled by the cognitive services, we can still easily dispatch those requests to other backend service or storage, for example, to your own knowledge base, or send the redirect request to the other skills bot applications. Those bot applications can execute calendar query or generation or email send or notification things through the API or Microsoft Graph. We can even dispatch the request, the user request to third-party assistant, for example, to human interactive situations. So under the bot framework, actually it is supported by the different languages. We can use the C# or Node.js or Java or Python to create our own bot applications through bot framework. So we can use the bot framework SDK directly, or you can use an easy way. For example, the Point Virtual Agent. The Point Virtual Agent is a no-code solution. We can use this Point Virtual Agent to easily create the bot application for Teams or for other channels without constructing our code. So with this way, we will redirect our user messages to the Point Virtual Agent services, and then the service will provide necessary responses to the end user. It also easily integrates with the cognitive service, for example, language and Q&A. We will go through this part as well. Today, we will focus on how to use the bot framework composer to create the bot application for our teams. Actually, the bot framework composer is also based on the bot framework SDK latest version. So in the traditional concepts, we can use the bot framework SDK to create the waterfall dialog logic for our bot application. So with the latest update, for example, the adaptive dialog logic, we can use the bot framework composer to create the adaptive dialog conversations easily. For example, the different dialog topics can be switched quickly through the event trigger. And we can also use the canvas to create our applications with limited code efforts. Okay, so here is our kind of bot framework structure. So when we talk about the Teams bot, we have multiple integration options. So this section will answer that what kind of the if I have the bot application already, or if I want to create the bot application for Teams, which kind of integration options I can choose. The first part is if you already have the bot services running like a web page, we can use the Microsoft Teams tab to embed the HTML iframe in Teams. Then it will easily use your existing bot assets in the Teams application scenario. All the communication performed will send between the Teams and your backend web page, your backend bot application. So in this way, we can easily construct the user experience is like a one-on-one communication. But if you close the Teams, your conversation history will not be saved, just like a instant message communication. Let me show you the a quick demo. So I have one bot application, and I embedded this in the Teams tab. Here is my tab, right? So I can talk with my bot with the some interesting messages, and the bot can respond me quickly. So this bot is like a iframe, and I embedded it in the web page. So the web page link is used by the Teams tab application. So in this way, I can easily embed our existing bot application in Teams. So this is one scenario to integrate the bot in Teams. Use this way, the Teams tab can also provide the Teams context or configuration for our embedded web page. For example, I can configure the settings for my tab application. For example, I will change this to everyone and click Save. Then my tab app can retrieve the configuration from my tab application and be displayed as a title. So in Teams tab, the bot experience is like a one-on-one conversation, and you can use it as a personal app or in Teams. You can also add the bot application in as a tab app in Teams channel. That's fine. The app can access the context information through Teams SDK. As I showed, it can access the configuration part from Teams and display in the tab application. If the bot want to use the single sign-on, it can also be implemented as well. We have your document to support that. The second integration option for bot in Teams is we can use the bot framework SDK or bot composer. Use the two things, we will develop the native application, bot application in Teams. So this means it's not like an embedded web page. It's like another user talk to you through different channels. So because this is a native bot application, it also supports multiple interactive methods between the user and the bot. So it will support the powerful interactive scenarios. When we send the message from the user to the bot application, the bot service agent will handle the request, and then it will pass to the backend web services. So usually we will host the bot application and the services in the web application on Azure, and the registered bot will provide the necessary application ID and the security code when we use that. So this will keep the communication safe and secure. So if someone wants to access the web application directly, they will not get the responses from your application because it rely on the application ID and the security key provided in the body registration. So this is a secure communication. And then your bot service can contact the backend, the cognitive service, or other kind of the customized services as well. When we create the native Teams bot application in Teams, the user experience is like not only about the talk or conversation. You can also use the Teams message extension, active commands, search, or more powerful communication methods. And it will keep the conversation long time in the Teams channel and will not be moved. We can also easily integrate with LUIS or Vision APIs. I will show you after a while in today's demo. For Teams native bot, it can also provide different messages, not only in text, but also include the adaptive cards or Teams modules. Here's the UI if I use the native bot in Teams. You can see this is an adaptive card. It's not only about the message. The adaptive card contains multiple and powerful information in the reply. Here is a different way we can use the native bot service on the back side. For example, I can from the compose box, I can click the this icon and I run the search command from this bot app. For example, I try to search the console that it will list several console items. And if I want to execute the action commands, I will click this icon in the compose box and choose the 3 dots. It will propose multiple commands here. I can click any commands and I run the, for example, Teams model windows as well. To run the active command, I can also use the message part. For example, this is a message shown in the Teams. I click the message 3 dots. It will also give me the opportunity to run the active command. This window is about Teams model for complex tasks because sometimes we want to run or fill multiple information, but it is not easy by typing text. So using the bot app, native bot app, I can fill the necessary messages or information through the Teams model window. Okay. Let me show you the real demo. So here is the application. So this is the message. This is the message in the conversation. Then I choose a multiple application and I click update engagement. Then it will pick up the information from the messages and let me to change the different fields and update my engagement items. So this is a task model. And if I want to search some records, for example, I type all, it will query the backend service and return all the information list. So I can easily choose any engagement and send it out. So those interactive behavior all happens with the native bot supported. And this you can choose the bot framework SDK to create this application, or you can use the bot framework composer to create this as well. The third integration method is we can use the Power Virtual Agent. I have mentioned this a bit at the beginning. So use the Power Virtual Agent, you basically will not require you use any code and you can create the bot application quickly. So but it requires, if you want to use this application talk with the Power Automate logic, then you will require you have the Premier Connector license. For other APIs, you can just use a standard connector. That's okay. So this provides a very rapid way if you want to create the message bot application and provide Q&A functions. So here is the Power Virtual Agent canvas UI. You will see that this is very similar to the both composer indeed. So here's a demo about how we create the bot through the Power Virtual Agent quickly. I created the bot with a name and choose the language and the environment. So this is happening in my testing environment. The language, and we will choose the default composer environment. Then we'll start create the bot application. So once it's created, you can see there are lots of default topics. So those topics are actually the conversation dialog. You can understand that in this way. So we will use the window to quickly test our bot application. For example, I use the first topic scenario and ask when are you closed. So it's like a store bot app. You return the messages, and I choose I understand your information, and I also give the opportunities to send the feedback. So if you have other topics or document or PDF Q&A questions, you can use the suggest topic to import them, and it will create new topics. Then I will show you how to publish the bot application through the PVA. I click the publish button, and then I can choose the different bot channel. I will choose Microsoft Teams. So I turn on the Teams channel, and then I will choose the availability options. So I click copy link. After the link is copied, then I can quickly test this in my Teams channel. Add this to my Teams as a personal app first. Yeah, just several steps. We can quickly create the message bot for my Teams application. The response context almost similar as I performed in the PVA test window. Yeah, but the survey part is a little bit different because it's just through the messages. So I will fill file and then this finish. Then we will think about how to create the bot applications using the native bot, because other ways I not require your coding efforts. For example, through the Tabs app, you can use your existing bot application. For PVA, you don't need to use the any code. But if you want to create the powerful applications, just like I show you, use different commands or adaptive cards or search command something, we will create the native bot applications. So let's see which options we can use now. There are two categories. The first category, if we want to create our bot, we will use the SDK. So this is the SDK first scenario. So if we want to use the SDK directly, there are multiple scenario options. One is to use human. It is good for create the bot application with the script, TypeScript or JavaScript. We can also choose the Teams toolkit. This is for built for the Visual Code, Visual Studio Code. And for the C# or Visual Studio, we will use a bot framework Visual Studio template. Microsoft also provide the bot framework solution for the enterprise scenario. So this is like a bot application templates. You can use them directly and customize them properly. So either way, we'll create the bot in the waterfall conversation logic. So it's like a waterfall step 1, 2, 3, one by one to construct our conversation for the bot application. Okay, so this is mainly about the SDK first scenario. For the Teams domain generator, it's a command window. So if we want to create a bot for Teams for quick usage, this tool is very helpful. So for example, in the command window, we can choose a tab bot or other Teams application. Okay, so then you can create that quickly with your Azure services. For Team Toolkit, this is built for the Visual Studio Code. So it's easy to configure and modify or test locally or publish to Azure. Okay, so someone like to use this tools if they're familiar with the backend front-end script templates for Teams SDK. So this is also easy to use. It's a little bit similar as the first one, but the UI is powerful because we use Visual Studio Code. Okay, the second part is like we can use the virtual design first. So if you consider this way, we will use the two applications to develop our bot application. The first one is the Power Virtual Agent. Basically, it's no code and rely on the Power Platform. If you want to improve the Power Virtual Agent interact methods with user, we can improve that through the composer as well. So this means after we create our Power Virtual Agent, use Power Virtual Agent to create our bot. And if you want to improve that, you can choose the open in bot composer and then add some improved features for your bot application. The second one is use the bot framework composer directly. So if it's a low code, the default template you can use will not require any code, but if you want to improve the composer with more complex logic, then they require some code. You can also create the custom trigger or custom action to make it even more powerful. These are C# projects, and then we can integrate this in our bot composer project to run our bot. Now let's talk about our bot framework composer key concepts. Okay. Here is several key features for the bot framework composer. One, you can design your bot application in Canvas, so it supports the natural conversation flow. So you can switch, you can trigger your conversation based on the event. This is very powerful. And essentially, it integrates with the LUIS or Q&A Maker and other services. And if you want to create the enterprise bot application, there are some enterprise templates you can use as well. Now it's open source already, so you can send your suggestion or pull requests to the product team through the GitHub. When you want to integrate the bot with Microsoft Graph or Teams, it provides component packages. Here is the Canvas UI. You can see this part is very similar as the Power Virtual Agent. And you can click a single button to publish our bots to Azure quickly. And it also provides multiple package managers for the bot application, so you don't need to recreate the basic functions if you want to integrate with Teams or Microsoft Graph. So this part is like a key building blocks for composer. The first one is the language understanding. It integrates with LUIS easily. For example, if I want to query my bot applications with several commands for my engagement items, I want to delete the item 1, 2, 3, or I want to say, please delete something or remove something. So I just use several statements. Then the backend LUIS will train its understanding behavior. If I use a remove 15, then it will understand that 15 number is my request ID, and then it will pick up the entity and execute my conversation logic. Okay, so this is about the language understanding. It's very powerful for the because the LUIS service. For dialog design in Composer, we can use the canvas to define our dialog. It supports the different conditions and also support the set value of properties in our conversation flow. For example, if the application, the user provided the geograph logic, geograph value, then it will go through this path. If the user didn't mention anything about the geograph or city name, then it will give another chance to let user input the location or city name and then move forward. The language generation is very important if you want to quickly customize your bot response in Composer. So here's the bot response. In this picture, we will see that the response definition is like Markdown or JSON language. So we can define different functions or logical block in this editor, and then use this editor content to respond to the user when they query the bot application. The last important part is value. How we save the value in different scopes. The memory storage is like we can save our values in conversation dialog or term scope. For example, if we want to save the value in term, this means one term is like a person talks to bot. We call this one term, and one dialog can contain multiple terms. Okay, so I want pizza, then it will understand the pizza is one value of this term and then move forward. So if we want to keep the value scope longer, we can save it to conversation or users. So here is general example for how we save the value in different scopes. For example, if I want to save the time zone information in my term, I will give the value to term.time zone. And if the returned JSON results from the REST API in the activity, then I will pick up the necessary value, use this method. For example, this is the value is the JSON result, and the JSON result contain data contains city name. I can use this way to get my value here. Now I'm going to show you how to use the Composer to create a basic weather bot in this demo. Let's start. The bot frame Composer is a Windows desktop application. So it's you can build this from the GitHub Composer directly, or you can download it from the Microsoft's website. So now I'm going to create a web bot. You see there are multiple templates. I will choose the with language template. So these templates will integrate with LUIS easily. If you choose a Q&A maker, it will integrate the LUIS and the Q&A maker backend services. So then I will create my bot project through the wizard. So the runtime, I choose Azure Web Application. This is the default option and easy to use. Your project will be saved to the this location user/Azure. Once you create the template, we will notice that there's one warning message. So this means we need to set up the public profile first. Let's follow the wizard and create our public profile. I need to create the new resources on Azure and click next. So let's create a new resource group on Azure side. Here I want to choose my bot application name and choose its region. Because the LUIS region, I use West US, so I will also choose the West US for my bot application. So here are some default options, and for our bot application, I will only use the app inside to record my application metrics. For the Cosmos DB, it will have to save the bot application state. For blob storage, it can help you to save the conversation between user and the bot if this is a requirement. And because I don't need them, so I just choose the application inside and then create it. So this is a provision step. So the bot composer will help me to provision the necessary Azure resources on Azure part. After this provision finish, then I will configure my language understanding key in this part. I will open my Azure portal to find my LUIS service. Here is a work group I just created with the bot composer. In it, we will see several new group resource created. So I will select the LUIS authoring. So the LUIS authoring key will be used for my configuration. I will get my key with my LUIS on Azure and copy it. So I will bring this key to the bot composer. Once I finish the input, then the warning message will disappear. So you will see this green check. Next, I will retrieve my app ID and the security key. So this time I don't need to go to the Azure part. I just click the retrieve it, and then the information will be provided by composer. That's it. I finished my configuration. Let's back to the application structure. So this is the default template things provided by the composer. If I want to test it locally, I don't need the bot emulator. Just create a start bot. That's okay. So it will show me the test window quickly. I accept the network requirement because it's a local testing with certain ports. Now in the composer test window, I can try my application. So when the application is running first time with a new user, it will give the greeting message. It's controlled by this trigger, the greeting trigger. Yeah, looks like it works well. So next, I'm going to create my weather functions. I need to open the Azure Map account service. So this service can provide some cool features. For example, get the geolocation or query the weather of the some city. So I will create my Azure Map account resource. So my purpose is for the weather bot. So I will put it into my weather bot group as well and name it as a map service. I chose a generation 1. This is enough for me to use the map service. So then create it. So the create process is quickly. After the result is created, I will also get its key, then configure in the composer. I will use the key later in my other component in composer. Okay, go to resource. Now let's get the map service key. I chose the second key and copy it. Open composer. Let's configure it in the code. let's turn on the advanced settings. Then it will show the JSON configuration. Okay, so scroll down. I will add the map service key in my configuration. Okay, I will put it here. That's above the skill configuration. Okay, next I will go to the package manager to get my weather module. So the composer provide multiple customized methods. So the one is we can use other package manager module in our application. So I install it. It's similar as a NuGet. After installing this get weather component, it will create a new dialog in my bot application. Yeah, let's back to my bot application. You will see there is one get weather dialog. This is a new thing created by the component package. So click the begin dialog. You can see it's already provide the communication flow for this dialog. And then if I create a new trigger, let the new trigger talk to this dialog, then my bot will work. So this logic tells it will try to get the LUIS understanding and pick up the geometry entity. If I provide the city name, then the entity name will be recognized. So after it got the entity name, it will query the map service. The map service URL is atlas.mapsoft.com. So with this requirement, then the map service will return the weather information and the city information. Then it will construct the adaptive card response to end user. So here is the response. So it will try to use a card template to construct the response for user. Okay. Now let me add the new trigger. The trigger will be intent recognized because I will type some questions, and then LUIS will try to understand what the intent it is. The trigger feature I prepared before. So from this trigger features, you can see that I give the multiple different format to ask questions, and the LUIS will understand that those kind of questions will be the same meaning, and the city name will be fit in the geograph entity. So then I can use this entity to query the backend map service. That's it, how it works. A setup condition here is I want to understand if the user question is how much aligned with my intent. So if it's very aligned with my intent, then I will go through the next dialog logic. Otherwise, this trigger will not respond to the user message. So in the get weather, I choose the dialog. My dialog name is a get weather dialog. This is from the weather component. That's it. Let's start it. So I will type the questions. How is the weather? So this time I didn't take any city name. So it will ask me second question. Which location you want to ask? I say Seattle. Then it give me the Seattle information, tomorrow information. So with this response, you will see that there are 2 marks. So this is the wrong behavior, right? We will fix later in next demo. So if I ask a question with the city name together, then this is smart. We'll answer the with the city status directly. So next demo, I will show you how to fix the incorrect marks message. And I want to give more information in the time because I don't think this is the right time I want. I want to know the exact time in that city now. Maybe this is from different time zone, but I want to know the local time of this city. Then I will show you how to enhance the both features in the composer. The 2 issues I want to resolve. One is the incorrect marks message. Another, I want to display more information in the adaptive time. You will see that I open the bot response menu because this is contains the language generator content and code. I click show code. So here is the response from the bot to end user. So how to define the response? I use the language generation code in Composer. So it's easily to be understand if you're reading that, but for some function name, you maybe need to search the MSBN to get how the function works as the predefined. So now I want to add one new function. It's called the time zone info. I prepared this before, but basically you will know that I try to convert the time to UTC, and then want to get the some daylight offset and the standard offset from the backend services. About the default display, I replace the data display, and will use my time zone info to return the message to end user. The second thing is I want to modify the incorrect message. There are 2 max temperature in the response, so I will find it and change this to a minimum. Okay, because the time zone info contains more text information, so I will also set small text font size in my display card. And I want to wrap the text because the text length is long. Okay, it will auto save my modification. Let's back to my weather dialog. So I need to get the time zone information from the map service. So I need to send a new request to the map service and get the JSON result. I click add, and then I can choose different actions. Now this is the scenario HQ request because the map account service provide like a REST API service. So I choose get and then input the necessary URL. So you can see that in the URL, I have used the predefined weather key in the URL. So the weather key is defined in my configurations. So that's it. I will also save the return JSON result in a value. So I will save the value in my time zone info. So this time zone info value will be used in my bot response, the language generator code. So I save this time info. Now let's execute the application and take a look. Open webcam. So the webcam channel is enabled by default for the both application on Azure. How is the weather in Tokyo? Right, you will see that the max information changes to a minimum, and it gives more detailed data from the target city of Tokyo. That's how I improve the weatherboard features through Composer by modifying the language generation code and the canvas design in the bot. Now let's see how to publish to Azure, to Teams channel. If we want to publish to Teams channel, we need to enable the Teams channel on Azure first. Let's publish it. Before this, every testing happened on the local side, right? So now we just publish it, and then back to the Azure portal. So on the Azure portal, we will choose my weather bot. So here's the Azure bot type. Let's click the channel, find the Teams channel, and enable it. Now let's click sync. So the channel is added. If I click open in Teams, I can test it. Because I want to use the developer portal to create the set loaded package so that it will be used by others as well. Then I use the these steps to create the manifest for this application. I open the Teams developer portal and input the bot name and necessary description. This developer portal is in Teams. So I usually use this developer portal application to create the bot app manifest package. The developer information is required information. For other website URL, you can input them. Even they are not exist, just we need to fill them. The client ID is a bot app ID registered on Azure, so we need to find it from the Azure portal or from your bot composer configuration. So I got the app ID, and then I will copy back to the developer portal app. Click save. This is the bot application, so I will add the bot feature and the application ID as well. So it's the same as the bot ID. And I choose the person, team, and group chat permission, so other users can add the application in the person, team, or group chat channel. Then I need to download the manifest package. So we can take a look by clicking overview, make sure that there's no other errors. Okay, and click publish, and then I can download the app package. So it's downloaded successfully. Now let's add this as a set load app in my Teams. Click More App. Choose Manage Your Apps and upload custom app. Let's open it. And when I click Add, I can add this as my personal bot application by default. So here are the default permissions for this bot application. Now this talking is actually talking to the Azure bot and the bot backend web service. Okay, looks like it works well. But one thing is you may notice that there's no the weather icon displayed. The reason is the weather package uses the SVG to rendering the image. But in Teams, the SVG image is not displayed and cannot be rendered. So to resolve that, we can create our customer action solution to replace the SVG screen into the PNG format screen. Okay, so then it will work. So actually, that's all the information I want to give today. And about how to check the customer weather icon, I have provided the solution and steps in my blog article. So here are some useful reference if you want to understand how to manipulate the bot composer successfully and provide your developer efficiency for different scenarios. You can go through those links and take note of the keywords, and you will find it. For the weather bot, I provide detailed steps in 5 blogs. Okay, so how to create the weather bot forecast and improve the feature, publish to Teams, and resolve the image display problem through the custom action. And when you build the custom action, what kind of the important tips you want to pay attention, I give them all. Okay, that's all information I want to share you today, and thanks for your time. And let me see if you have any questions through the message.
Thank you, Freist Li, for the session on the topic bot development for teams through bot framework composer version 2. And thank you all for joining today's session. If you have any questions, you can ask in chat box or you can unmute yourself even.
Yeah, so if you have a question, you can unmute and ask me. Or
I got hi. I got a quick question about this one. So can we integrate this chatbot into a SharePoint list or a SharePoint database so we can extract data and enter data using this bot?
okay, so the thing is for the backend SharePoint information query, you need to leverage some Graph API, I think. Okay, or the SharePoint API. And for the composer creation, it provides the HTTP request. So if the backend services or data service can be retrieved information from the REST API, then that is possible. Okay, it doesn't provide the some default connectors, but the REST API visiting is very powerful. Just like in the demo, I can use the REST API to query the map services, and we can use the REST API to query the Microsoft Graph, and the Graph can query the email, OneDrive, calendar, SharePoint, lots of different things. So that is how it integrates with backend services. Yeah, hopefully.
All right. Thank you.
Any other question? And if you look at the Azure part and when you build the application, you will see that it will also suggest you to open the board composer if you choose multiple tenants. So and in this build, 2 or 3 weeks ago, Microsoft Build also announced that the PVA, the Power Virtual Agent, will integrate the composer in its UI as well. So understand how it works and try some simple hands-on things. It will improve your understanding on how the bot frame works and create your own fancy bot app. Thank you. I think I can share this as a PDF to the community. I don't know if Sugar can help to forward that.
If you can share it to me, it will be good. I'll be sharing it in our Discord channel.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. I will share this as a PDF format and then send to you later after this communication.
Okay. Sure. I think nobody else is having any questions.
That's cool. And yeah.
We should
Thank
wait
you,
out.
everyone. And I appreciate your time and hope you enjoy the bot development. And this is a pretty important part on the Teams platform as well. Just as I said, if you can create the good bot application, actually you have opened the Teams platform extensibility features as well. You can use it in lots of the modern conversation AI platform. That's it. Thank you, everyone.